Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is BlackHawkC talking to you today about the Arctic Cheetah hero, the Shard. So what does the Shard bring to MWO gameplay? Well, we're going to find out in this video. The Arctic Cheetah Shard is a clan omnimech, and like other ACH variants, it does not come with a CT hardpoint, which means that any build that can be done on the SIBO variant can also be done on the Shard as well. In other words, the one reason to buy it is to run your favorite ACH build on the Shard with the SIBO bonus. But given that the Shard gives you a new set of omnipods, what else can you do with it? First, looking quickly at the full omnipod set quirks, we've got an MG rate of fire quirk for only up to 2 MGs, and a missile cooldown quirk for the single missile hardpoint. Sometimes I wonder why PGI even bothers with these kind of quirks, but I suppose that if you want to do some really awkward builds for the hell of it, like LRM machine gun ER small laser cheetah, they could help make your build slightly less bad. Well anyways, at least you can see that the Shard does bring 2 omnipods with hardpoints that we haven't yet seen on other ACH variants. The missile hardpoint is worth a mention, even though it doesn't really make a big difference to the chassis overall. At most it'll allow the ACH to run 3 SRM launchers and a few heavy small lasers, which gives it a respectable close-range firepower for 30-tonner. But for clan SRM focused lights, the Jenner 2C has been the go-to mech for this sort of playstyle. This ACH build in my opinion doesn't add that much to the Jenner 2C because it doesn't really address the Jenner's biggest vulnerability, which is its fragility. Given that both mechs will be playing in situations where they attempt to do close-range hit and run, the Jenner's superior firepower makes it stronger for this playstyle. The more interesting omnipod is a Shard right torso with 2 ballistic hardpoints. This will allow the Arctic Cheetah to run up to 8 machine guns with the support lasers with the ACH-E omnipods that came out at the same time. You have 2 separate playstyle options with this. First, without ECM, you can run 2 heavy mediums with 8 MGs. And this will play much like a Mislinks, where you attempt to do sustained crit damage after surprising an enemy from the back. It's a very effective playstyle, however because it is so similar to the Mislinks, my preferred build takes advantage of the ECM and 3 heavy MLs for a kind of hybrid poke plus crit seeking playstyle. Here, having 3 heavy meads help the ACH be effective during the earlier phases of the game, when it can't sneak up behind enemy mechs. Essentially, it keeps it safe while dealing some damage until it can use the ECM to approach the backs of enemy mechs. I can explain more about how to play this build in the gameplay demo, but before getting in there, I wanted to address a question of whether to run the MGs or LMGs in this build. What I've found out is that with just 5 MGs, the recent nerf on the LMG damage made them noticeably weaker even against open components. Since you have so few machine guns, you have to spend a lot of time creating components no matter what type of MG you use, which means you have to be close up to the target in order to stay behind them. Because of that, I wasn't using the range advantage of the LMGs when I played. While the Mislinks and the non-ECM version of this build can still use LMGs effectively, I think standard MGs work better in this case. Okay, let's get into a gameplay demo for the MG version. I chose this match because it really showed off the multi-role nature of this build better than some other matches that I had. So let's go check it out. So in this match we're on Polar Highlands, and with other big maps, other games in big maps, you'll expect that this will take a kind of a long time, but I think this is a good match to show because it does demonstrate all the roles that this build can play. It can poke, it can crit backs, it can do anti-light, it can scout, it can throw around arties. So it does everything in this match, and that's why I think it was a pretty good match to show. Now, over here, there's a couple of lighter mechs over at J8, and there's some heavier mechs over at I7, and those are the mechs that we're gonna try to flank around and try to hit them from the back. We're not really sure how many there are right now. We do need to be a little bit closer, so we're gonna try to do a careful approach and see how many enemies there are. So we spotted 2 mechs already, so we have to be careful. He's not exactly isolated. So now we see this Molars and LRM Molar, and these are the types of mechs that we actually want to go after. But you know, once we crest, we see that it's not just him. There's 4 other mechs there. It's a little bit too many for us to take on, so we're gonna throw down an arty right now, and we do get a couple of hits there. Hopefully that spreads them out a little bit and forces them to move. We do get our first poke at this Night Star over here. He's a Snubnose PPC Ultra 5, so a pinpoint build. And so if we're close to him and we get shot, it's going to be really bad. So we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible. See, I think he's aware of me. He's shooting back at me right now. So what we really kind of want to get to is that Muller, but the Night Star is giving me some trouble, so I can't really just go after the Muller at this point. But at the same time, I am locking down this Night Star just by poking at him and, you know, kind of making him turn around once in a while. And this is like an assault for like an Arctic Cheetah. That's a fair trade. And now we're seeing like our base is going down. So there's a couple of mechs over there that kind of overextended themselves and went to our base, tried to cap, was chased away by our team. The commando was already dead by this time. I kind of cut over to this point because it took a long time for me to get here. But this Shadow Cat is left, and we're gonna try to take him out. So this is a machine gun, you know, laser Shadow Cat. It does pose somewhat of a danger to my Cheetah, but I have help. That's why I'm able to. It's not even a 1v1, it's more like a 3v1 at that point. So if it was a 1v1, I would be careful, but with a build like that. But I had help, so I wasn't as afraid of, you know, getting shot so much. And in general, you know, if you're really good, I mean, if you're a really good light pilot, which I'm not, like you might be able to just 1v1 people like that, but I'm on the more cautious side. I would definitely prefer something like 2v1, 3v1 against other lights that has like an MG build or a pulse laser build, something like that. So now we see this. Now we go back to what we are really intending to do, which is to crit backs and then open up backs. And so we see this sort of isolated Orion 2C, but he has Gauss PPC, so we have to be really careful here and not get into his we have to get behind his weapons. And I'm not a good light pilot, as I mentioned in my earlier videos, and you guys will do better than this, but you know, here for the most part, we're still kind of able to stay behind him, and we get our machine guns going. And we're getting help from some LRMs, friendly LRMs in the back here, and the LRMs actually take him out. And this Muller here is also in big trouble. I'm getting shot as well from the catapult, I believe, but this Muller is in deep trouble here. He lost most of his weapons by now, but I'm gonna ignore him and try to get the. Well, I still take a shot at him, I guess. Yeah, this catapult over here. Must be. Not sure what's going on with him, but he dies before I can shoot him. And now all the way back to get that locust. I mean, basically by tying down 1 to 2 assault mechs at that point, throwing strikes.
This isn't incursion, so
I think, you know, it helped the team a lot. By keeping those assaults away from our team so that they can get an advantage early on. And this locust is going to go down fairly soon. Lost a leg, and it's done. So this isn't like the best match that I had, but it's a pretty good match to show what the Arctic Cheetah can do. Just to summarize, there are many reasons to buy the Shard, and I would recommend it especially if you like the Arctic Cheetah chassis and want more build variety. If you enjoyed mech reviews like this and gameplay strategies, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you next time.